Well, thanks for joining us today on the Big Blue Podcast. I'm Lee Goodson, and I'm joined by my guest co-host, Anina Collier. Hello, Anina. How are
Hello,
you?
Dr. Goodson. I'm great.
Great. We're so glad to have you here at the McKeon Center for Creativity in downtown Tulsa. And it's a little bit of a cloudy, overcast day, and we just had our vision dinner last night, and it was a great success. And so lots of great things happening here at TCC. We are here with our two guests today, Dr. Harriette Dudley, the new Metro Campus Dean of Student Affairs. Congratulations. And Lonnie Wilson, the EAC RCDHH Director. And you're going to tell us what all those, let's talk about that first, Lonnie. So the Education Access Center.
Yes.
And the Resource Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. Yes.
And both of them are under the umbrella of Disability Resources.
Okay.
So we're a college-wide function, and we serve students with, provide accommodations for both students at every campus.
Every campus.
Every campus in the TCC location.
Excellent. Well, Dr. Dudley, we are so excited for you in your new role, and I'm sure it's taking some getting used to being in a different division. Is that an understatement?
Yes.
It is, okay. You were named the Dean of Student Affairs at the Metro Campus, and you are given responsibility over judicial affairs at the college. What attracted you to this position, and tell us about the transition from academic affairs.
So, what attracted me was, one, the opportunity to work with a variety of students. I previously worked with early childhood and education majors. In this position, I work with every single student at Metro. I'm constantly walking the halls, but if there are any student code of conduct concerns or wellness activities or disability service activities, I get to interface with those students as well. The other thing that attracted me was the opportunity to be at an urban campus. So I literally walk from my home on Denver Avenue to Metro. Sometimes if I'm going from campus to campus, I drive around. If there's no place to park, I just take my car back home and walk back. And then finally, the opportunity to learn. When you've been in community college and higher ed for 18 years, doing the same thing, even though sometimes the environments are different, it's good to practice what you preach. So we're always preaching lifelong learning, and this is an opportunity to learn the other side of the house, student affairs. So those are the things that attracted me.
Those are the things. So you're a downtown dweller.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
I can see.
More and more every year, and there's so many developments going up.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
It's exciting to see.
It is.
It really is.
So, Harriet, you think big. That's one of the things that we all value about you so much. So we'd love to hear more about the goals you have for the judicial affairs staff this year, and then, projects you have coming up, outcomes you hope to achieve. Just tell us more about your vision.
Well, my vision was to find out what the three departments, which are disability resources, wellness, and student code of conduct, what they want. They're the experts in the field, and so I posed that question at our Focus on Fridays unit meeting. What do you all want to accomplish? What do you want us to do? And so some of their responses were cohesion, effective communication, awareness, accessibility, and there's one more A, awareness, accessibility, and advocacy. And they wanted that in their protocols and also their procedures. They wanted that to be a resounding theme across all three departments. They also mentioned that they wanted every video captioned.
Good. Better be doing that.
Yes, clear directions and expectations, a fully staffed disability resource office, and then they just wanted to know about what each other's area does. And so I would say my goal is to take those goals and make sure they are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And I shared with them that my overarching theme are the three S's: support staff, support students, and do it with service excellence. And so we're taking all of those goals, and we're taking my overarching vision, and that's what we want to get done.
And you're rocking some acronyms too over there. That's fantastic. I
Smart
love it.
goals.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. for those of you that may not have heard what she was saying. SMART goals.
Smart goals, the 3 S's, the 3 A's. We've got the whole alphabet worth of goals.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
good. Well, Lonnie, this has been a move for the
Yes.
Education Access Center and the Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing to be moved under the Dean of Student Affairs that deals with judicial affairs and so talk to us a little bit about what you hope happens as a result of this. Why is it a good fit?
For us, to me, it's going back to where we belong in the structure of TCC.
Okay.
We are a service to students, and student affairs is perfect because we all provide services. And I see with the 3 departments a great collaboration, between the 3 departments, and we can provide access to support services and a quicker response in mental health, addressing mental health issues, and we can also accommodation needs because a lot of the students that the judicial affairs or wellness affairs, their team may have to refer those students to us to provide accommodations. So I see a great fit for the 3 of us to serve students better and to foster student success if we can just open those doors for them.
I'm Anina Collier, and we're back here with Dr. Lee Goodson, and you're listening to the Big Blue Podcast. Our guests today are Dr. Harriette Dudley and Lonnie Wilson, and we've been talking about judicial affairs and student resources provided by Student Affairs. So, ladies, this question is really for both of you. We'd love to hear your perspective on how the challenges that our students face evolve over time. If they do, how are they evolving? What students are dealing with now? How different was that from 10 years ago?
Well, one of the things I see, they have great challenges right now that are totally different from maybe 10 years ago, and they have increased, and they bleed into the educational setting. One reason is budget cuts as far as educational funding in our state.
Right.
It's kind of like a trickle-down, effect. And it affects the community agencies, it affects public education, community colleges, universities, and we all have to do much more with less funding.
Right. Right.
And less educational funding is affecting our individuals with disabilities as well to attend college, and it's hampering their ability to become gainfully employed.
Right.
So with less funding, students can't attend college, or it hampers their ability. They can't buy textbooks, they can't buy computers, which are needed today in today's colleges and universities. Computers, all those things at home, so they can complement one another at school. And one of the ways TCC has addressed the lack of educational funding for students with disabilities is to provide scholarships that are funded by our TCC Foundation. And it has helped decrease some of the financial barriers that our students face.
It's great that the foundation is helping to meet that need. So when you first started answering the question, you said that you did think that the challenges had expanded significantly and gotten worse, it sounds like. Can you give us an example of some of those challenges and why you feel they're more significant now than 10 years ago?
Well, I have more students that are working, because they have to.
I see.
Today, parents trying to help their parents. I just recently, I teach first year experience seminar classes, and I had a student, he comes in from work, 8 hours, 10 hours, and at night, he comes to school, and then he has to go home and he takes care of his children because his wife has to do the same, so they kind of tag team.
Wow.
And their jobs aren't the best, so they're always scrambling for money, those pressures, of trying to feed 2 or 3 children in school.
Hand to mouth.
Yes. So that's also the stresses of that, and just society as a whole right now are bleeding into the classroom.
I see.
Sure.
I see. Dr. Dudley, what about you?
And Nina, when I think about it, I can summarize it in the 3 top things. The first one is the nonstop pace. The second one, that's really big, that we didn't see initially, and we're seeing it more now, is food insecurity. And then the third is to Lonnie's point, mental health issues,
Yes.
an increase in anxiety, an increase in depression, an
Yes.
increase in suicidal ideations. And each of these is linked to retention and completion.
Right.
So as we look at where we were 10 years ago and as we look at where we're going, it's important to have the resources and the services in place to address these emerging challenges so that we can stay on the track to make sure students are retained and that they complete.
Thank you.
So we have this new structure, and everybody's kind of watching it. And I think, we had the big reorg for the whole college. What? Everybody has a new boss, right? Yeah. And but we're tweaking it to kind of make sure we get it right and spread the work as evenly as we can. What would you say are the top takeaways that you would like for faculty and staff to know about your area and the services that you all provide to students?
Again, I'll start with
Go ahead.
Mental health. And again, because it's a team approach, I get the information from them, and so I'm basically the conduit. So Jessica Haven, who's the director of wellness services, and her team, along with the grants office, was awarded, and I want to get the numbers right, $375,000 grant from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
That's
so
amazing.
we really want faculty and staff to know that this grant is here. What that means is that we're going to train 630 folks in mental health first aid. It also means that we're going to be able to hire 2 additional positions. We're going to address some of the resources for students so that we can address some of these mental health challenges and reduce the stigma associated with mental health. And then that's linked to our strategic plan in more personalized student support services, increasing professional development for all employees, and increasing efforts to ensure campus safety. So that's on the wellness side. I know Lonnie's going to talk about disability resources, so I also talk about student code of conduct. We now have a centralized reporting system for student concerns. So if a student has a concern, they can go to our website, click on student resources. It will give a drop down, and students can complete online electronically if they have an academic concern, a grade appeal, a Title IX, a discrimination, just a regular concern about an office that they feel like they may not have been treated fairly or they had a problem, or a code of conduct violation. And so those are the 2 big things from our area, and Lonnie's going to cover the third, that I know we really want students and faculty to know about.
Great.
And staff, I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
Okay, and one of the things being under this leadership, of this champion of student success, Dr. Dudley, our 3 departments are going to be doing a lot of collaboration and discussions and combining forces and resources. We have already talked about providing a health disability, a fair, like we used to do the regional transition fair. But now we're going to combine those forces so that all students, all faculty, all staff know the resources that our departments
That's
can
great.
provide. And it also, for our area, regarding the takeaway I'd like for faculty, staff to know, is that it takes a village, to accommodate and provide support services to students with disabilities attending TCC, which takes patience and sensitivity, and we instill that in people.
That's great. That's great, especially making sure we all understand we're all responsible.
We're all responsible. It's not just us, but we're ready to collaborate.
That's
with
fantastic.
all areas, because our tentacles are in everything.
And leveraging what
Yes.
we've already got. I'm hearing that in how you describe you plan to move forward with the work. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we've been discussing some really, serious and impactful topics here, but we're going to lighten it up with our big question. We only have a few seconds left, so we want to know from each of you, if you could go back in time and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice before you started college, what would it be?
Go to a community college.
There you go, Harriet.
You will have smaller class sizes. They will know
Yes.
your name. They will know your story, and they will champion your success. I'm a University of Missouri Columbia graduate, and that is absolutely what I would tell my 18-year-old self.
Awesome.
Well, for me, as a first-generation child of a single mother, I'm not knowing how to navigate college. TCC was the place for me, and I agree with Dr. Dudley. Go to community college. Okay, the support that I received here, I attribute to where I am today. Okay, as you know, the success that I've had, all the knowledge that I learned, and but I learned everything here, and I was able to move that knowledge to a 4-year degree and a master's degree, which led to my professional position here at TCC for 37 years.
Amazing.
That's a good run. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and congratulations, Dr. Dudley, on your new position. I know it's a transition, and we are so excited that you're in the role. And to both of you, thank you.
Thank you.
Downtown.
Yeah. Well, you've been listening to the Big Blue Podcast. We want to thank our guests, Dr. Dudley and Lonnie Wilson, for spending time with us today. And we want to thank you for listening. Remember, you can catch the Big Blue Podcast each week in the week at TCC and on the Creativity Channel at YouTube. Anina, thank you for joining me today.
Thank
Greg
you.
couldn't make it, and I was so excited to hear that you were going to join us.
This was fun. Thank you.
Glad to have you, and we'll see
Thank
you
you.
next time. Thanks, everybody.